This here is the Fraser 2G dorm. It's been a great spot for me to live this semester, but there's just one thing that I've noticed. We use a lot of water. Unfortunately, the more I look around, the more I realize just how many ways there are to waste water. For me, this has included things like leaving the tap on when I brush my teeth or even my face. I take long, hot showers, flush the toilet every time I use it. I boil the kettle to make tea and coffee. I drink a lot of water. There's just generally a lot of water use going on in the dorm. The environmental problem of study is clearly water conservation. But why do we need to reduce our water usage anyway? Well, with the exponential population growth that Metro Vancouver has experienced in recent years, finding ways to conserve fresh water has never been more important. In addition to the increasing freshwater demand, our summers are becoming drier thanks to climate change. Despite Vancouver's reputation for being one of the world's wettest cities, the need for freshwater conservation has never been greater. Now you have a little bit of background information on why I'm doing this project. So first of all, I'm going to go over my research questions, my research objectives, my methodology, discussion and analysis, and finally my conclusion and acknowledgements. So what questions have helped me guide my research? First question is, what is my ecological footprint according to the PEFC and GFNC calculators? So my ecological footprint score was 2055, which basically says that I would need 20.55 hectares of earth to sustain my current habits. If every person lived like me, we would need 5.5 earths. Second question is, how does my current lifestyle affect the amount of water I use? So first of all, as stated before, I take long showers, I flush the toilet every time I use it, I leave the tap running frequently, and when I'm at home I use the dishwasher each day, but in the dorm we don't have a dishwasher. All these use a lot of water. A shower uses over 200 liters of water for a 10-minute shower. Flushing the toilet uses about 60 liters of water, if you can believe it. And brushing your teeth uses about 12 liters of water if you leave the tap on. Finally, what sustainable solutions can I take to reduce my water usage and lower my overall eco-footprint? So first of all, I'm thinking I can reduce my showers to less than 5 minutes a day. Make sure I shut the tap off when I brush my teeth or wash my face. Always hand wash my dishes, wash my clothes once per week or less. And even reduce meat consumption, particularly beef and pork, which requires a lot of water to produce. I also have two research objectives. So first of all, I want to get an idea of how many other people in my dorm have bad water usage habits like I do, using a survey. And second of all, I want to track my daily water usage on a spreadsheet and reduce my water usage by 30% at the end of the test period. Okay, as you know, any good research needs some methodology. So first of all, I used SurveyMonkey to ask my friends in the dorm about their water usage habits. I asked them questions like, how long do you typically shower for? Do you leave the tap running while brushing your teeth or washing your face like I do? How frequently do you wash your laundry? And are you even aware of the implications that your water usage has on the environment? Okay, next I used a counter app to tally certain water-related activities that were difficult to remember each day. And then at the end of the day, I inputted all of my water usage into Google Sheets and estimated my total liters used. So as you can see here, here's a little example of things I might tally throughout the day. So whenever I drink water, whenever I run the tap for more than 30 seconds, when I run the tap for less than 30 seconds. Okay, that's a lot of information to take in. So let's discuss and analyze this. So first of all, I just want to address a few quick conversions. So shower running per minute requires about 12 liters of water. The tap running per minute requires about 6 liters of water. Water used per wash load is about 50 liters. And then I just have a formula here which says that old value minus new value over old value times 100 equals the percent change. So we will be using that later on when I just discuss my spreadsheet. Okay, so this spreadsheet I used looks pretty complicated, but it's actually not as complicated as it looks. Pretty much, first of all, we have the number of minutes I spent in the shower each day, the number of minutes I ran the tap, I washed dishes, whether I did a load of laundry, how much water I drank, and then I just combined all the total liters used at the end of the day to get a daily average. As you can see, the daily average was about 457 liters in the first week. By the second week, I'd cut it down to about 247 liters. And by week 3, I'd cut it all the way down to 143.86 liters. So that's already a dramatic difference from week 1. After calculating my totals from week 3, I was shocked to find that I had greatly exceeded my goal of cutting water usage by 30%. Instead, my water usage was reduced by 68.6%, which was just incredible. And what's even more incredible was the difference in the average liters used per day, which was 313 liters. Okay, so though my ecological footprint was able to change quite a bit from this, my presentation is limited to water usage. So it's actually not going to show up too much on the GFNC or PEFC calculator tests that I did. But I do want to show you some more results. So let's look at some yearly totals. So first of all, we have week 1 habits. So let's take the average 457.21 liters times 365 days. That is 166,881 liters per year. That is a lot of water. Now, let's look at week 3 habits. We have 143.86 liters times 365 days, and we only have 52,508 liters used per year. That's a drastic difference. Now, let's see how other people compare.
Hi.
How often do you typically shower for?
Probably like 20 minutes.
Do you ever leave the tap on when you're brushing your teeth or washing your face?
No.
How often do you do your laundry?
Every week or 2 weeks.
How long do you typically shower for?
Depends on if I'm singing or not. If I'm singing like 30 minutes, and if I'm not, like 4.
Do you leave the tap running when you brush your teeth or wash your face?
Well, like as I'm washing my face, yes, but then like I turn it off when I'm not doing the deed.
How often would you say you wash your laundry?
Oh, like once a week and a half.
Catherine, how long do you typically shower for?
If I'm not washing my hair, like 5 minutes. But if I'm washing my hair, probably more like 15.
Do you leave the tap on when you brush your teeth or wash your face?
No.
How often do you typically wash your laundry?
Yeah, I think about every week and a half, depending on how sweaty my clothes are.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey.
How often do you typically shower for?
15, 20 minutes.
And do you ever leave the tap on when you wash your face or brush your teeth?
No.
How often do you do your laundry?
About every 2 weeks.
Hey, Micah. Hi, Rowan. How often do you typically shower for? 10-15 minutes. Ever leave the tap on when brushing your teeth or washing your face? No. And finally, how often do you do your laundry? Every 2 to 3 weeks. Perfect. Hey, Colby. Hey. How long do you typically shower for? 10-15 minutes. And you leave the tap on when you brush your teeth or wash your face?
No.
And how often do you do your laundry?
Every 2 weeks.
Hey, Adeline.
Hi.
How often do you typically shower for?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, and do you ever leave the tap on when washing your face or brushing your teeth? And how often do you do your laundry?
Every week.
Hey, Matthias. Hey, Rowan. How long do you typically shower for? 5 to 10 minutes. And do you ever leave the tap on when washing your teeth or brushing your teeth or washing your face? No, never. And how often do you do your laundry? Every week.
Okay, so from this really interesting survey, it was clear that multiple other people have similar water usage habits that I did, meaning that a lot of other people are also using up to 166,881 liters per year, and possibly even more. Though it's pretty clear from my survey that more people in the dorm have better habits than I did, imagine how much water would be conserved if everyone reduced their showers to less than 5 minutes, turned the tap off at the sink, limited laundry to full loads just once a week or less. Okay, so I think there's a lot more that I could get into regarding this subject. Water conservation is a huge topic, but I just want to wrap up this project by saying it was very eye-opening and also concerning. Clearly, there's a dire need for freshwater conservation, and this project clearly demonstrated the difference that each individual can make when they actively choose to fix their bad water usage habits. So the biggest issue in the dorm is clearly water that's wasted in the shower, but outside the dorm there are more ways that water is used excessively. This can include dishwasher use, excessive lawn watering, using car washes, which use a lot more water than washing your car at home. There's just so many different ways that we use water excessively and don't always realize it. So I really just hope that this project was able to open people's eyes a little bit and just make them aware of ways that they can save water and how that is impacting their locality. So whether you live in the Metro Vancouver area, somewhere else in Canada, there's always a need for freshwater conservation. Now that the study period is over, I don't want to go back to my old habits. I am very happy with the amount of water that I have saved in doing this project. However, certain methods that I was using, like using Google Sheets to input all of my habits from the day, or timing my showers, are just simply unrealistic and unsustainable. So, I have begun to brainstorm ways that I can naturally keep up these habits, which I developed over the last 3 weeks. For example, only allowing myself to take cold showers so I don't stay in for excessive amounts of time. I firmly believe that it is very important for the public to understand the state that the earth is in, and how important it is for us as stewards of God's creation to protect it as much as we can. So my question for you is, how will you choose to conserve water in your own life? Evaluate yourself. How bad are your water usage habits? Are your current water usage habits sustainable? The answer is probably not. So, I want to challenge you to look for ways in your own life that you can reduce your water usage. Think about how excessive use of water is damaging to the environment.